Hello everyone. So maybe you saw Stephanie's post, maybe you didn't. I wanted to give you a little bit of introduction to what I will be sharing. I am April Carnahan. I am a senior director and on Stephanie's team. I will actually be, let's see, later this month it will be 3 years I've been with Lemongrass, and Stephanie and I joke because we kind of got stuck to with each other, surprisingly, but we work well together. I literally signed up kind of out of nowhere. I requested samples from Lemongrass Spa, and Stephanie is the one that followed up with me, and after receiving those samples, it was like 2 or 3 weeks, and I just signed up. So I have no experience in direct sales. I never attended a lemongrass party. What else is there to say there? And it is just kind of, I always say it's a journey. So, I joined, I totally winged my parties. Again, no background in direct sales, never well, I mean, I remember back in the day, I went to like a Pampered Chef party and something else, but really, you know, not really been too much into direct sales. So I, winged my jump start and I hit that, and then I kind of got in this lull and I'm like, what am I doing? Like this, here's the other thing, I'm an introvert. Like, I'm quiet, shy person, whether you believe it or not. So then it was January 2017, and kind of last minute, Stephanie was like, hey, would you like to go to Leaders Retreat? And I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, I had 0 teammates at that time. I just was hanging out, and I had that moment where I was like, I have to take advantage of this because, you only get these opportunities once. So I jumped on it, it worked out, and I went. And then I say the rest is history. I got my first teammates in February of 2017 and have just been sharing since. So, I am not going to read the comments so that I get through all of my notes and I don't take all night, because I know we don't like long videos. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments as we go along and I will be checking them and replying. I am an open book when it comes to lemongrass, and I'll tell you the truth, whether it's good or bad. So, this is kind of funny. So Stephanie was like, holy cow, how did you get 10 recruits in June? And she wanted me to share about that. I was holding on to a little secret at that time, which she later found out that I would be one of the top 12 in recruiting for the company. I didn't know what place I was going to be. I was just hoping to get into that top 12. So, I was like, well, I don't really want to talk about how you're going to do 10 in a month, because that is slightly a stretch goal. So I had, and this will probably be backwards, and I apologize for that, but I had 27 for the conference year. So that breaks down to 2.25 per month. And the thing is you want to get those 2 recruits in a month, because you get the product bonus that Lemongrass Spa has to offer. So why not, right? I will mention some months I had 0. Other months I had more. But you like to shoot for that too. So one thing, actually 2 things, I guess. biggest thing is follow-up, and the other thing is one notebook. So this is my current notebook. I have other notebooks from the past, and this keeps all kinds of notes for me. Particularly whenever I talk to people, I put notes in here. So this is anything from interest of parties, whenever I send anything out to people, it all goes in here. And then we talk about recruiting. I keep notes on people who show any kind of interest. So whether it's at parties or in conversations, they're asking questions about what you do. They're asking a lot of questions about the products. Sometimes these are the first people that show up to your party. Sometimes they're the last people to leave. But you kind of have to just kind of have your like radar on and watch out for these people. You can listen to Kathy, you can listen to other trainers, and they will tell you all sorts of different ways to do it, and you have to find what works for you. And I could go on and on about all of that. So here's the other thing is, and I don't remember really when I started doing this. I was not good with it. I'm still not 100%. I'll be honest with you. I will say I'm about to 90%, so that's a lot better, because before I was like probably like on the 50% range. Is offer all of your hosts the opportunity, whether their party qualifies or not, because yes, I still have parties that don't qualify at the $200 range. So don't beat yourself up when that happens. But you can offer the opportunity to those hosts. If their party does qualify, let them know that they can use that host cash towards the cost of their kit. So like I said, I make note of people that have shown interest that I've talked to. So they're in here, and what do? I follow up. Again, trainers with indirect sales, you're going to hear the fortune is in the follow-up. And I will tell you that is so true. Whether it's in recruiting or in the sales area. I could go on for that for days. So, in the follow-up, you're building the relationship. And you have to be patient. So, there's a quote, and I probably should have like pulled it up so I could read it, but it goes something to the effect of, some people aren't ready to hear it just yet. So you have something to share and tell them, but they might not be open to hear that yet. And that's where a lot of the no's come from. For one, as humans, we like to say no really easily. But the other thing is we say no sometimes because we don't know. So I always say no doesn't mean no, it means not now. So on that, she will join when the timing is right. It could be a week, or it could be 2 years, or even longer. I always, I shouldn't say always. A lot of the times, I usually ask, hey, is it okay if I just follow up with you later? So when they say no, keep the conversation going. I have started where if it's a Facebook relationship, I friend request. I mean, anybody, everybody. I'm not partial to that. I feel like Facebook's a great way to stay in contact and get to know people better. I know some people are afraid of opening up their Facebook to people, so that's really a choice for you to decide on. The other thing I will say that is probably the biggest thing is you've got to either love the products or love the company, because you have to have a passion for that and be able to tie that into your life. For me, it's definitely the products. I use all of them daily. It's the only thing in our house. But then also I love the company and what I've been able to learn and experience with the company, the values that they have. The other thing is I come from, I've worked in corporate America, I've worked for mom and pop shops, and the recognition is like no other. And I hear it a lot of times, is that a lot of ladies love that recognition that we pour out, because we don't get that when you're working in an office setting and nobody says, hey, good job. At least I never got that. I always got, oh, here's more work for you to do, but you're not going to get a raise. Awesome thing with lemongrass, you do more work, you get a raise. So that's what I'm all about there. I know I'm probably missing some stuff, so I will check. I know I see all of these comments. Okay, I feel like I'm not seeing some of these comments. I just see a lot of Stephanie, but I will go back afterwards and check comments, so leave them here. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about, because I know Stephanie was like really wanting to know about the 10 in June. The 10 in June, because I knew I was like so close to hitting the top 12 in recruiting, I was like, I've got to try, you know, and I wasn't expecting 10. Like I actually set a higher goal than 10, because that $49 kit, I was like, holy cow. So many times I had people say, you know, I just really don't want to spend the $129 kit on the $129 on that kit. So I would be like, well, can I just follow up with you when there's a kit special? Most of the time they said yes. So when $49 came around, I was like, this is it. So, I don't remember if they announced that on the 28th or 29th of May. So if I go back here, I made a whole list of people. So all of my hostesses that hadn't joined yet, I put them on the list. My top customers, they went on the list. Other people who I talked to previously about the opportunity, they went on my list. This was a list. Sorry, we have a lot of planes flying over, so if you hear that noise, that's what that is. This was a list of 50 to 60 people. I didn't ever go back and count, but roughly that many people who I reached out to. So you can see the discrepancy in the numbers. 10 out of, say, 60. You can do the math and figure that out. So hopefully I answered all the questions. I know Stephanie's probably going to have even more questions, and I'm happy to answer them. So just leave them in here. The other thing I will just say is decide what you're most comfortable with and focus on that first. Don't try to do everything because that's where we don't do anything. So that would be my takeaway. So Stephanie says 1 out of 10 will join. So I doubled that. Hey! Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is relationships. I like the whole Facebook thing, but I also, I touch base with, as many people as I can on a regular basis. Again, it goes back to that follow-up, and the follow-up isn't always about, sales. And the other thing too, okay, this is like a big pet peeve of mine. Sorry, I'm gonna ramble, but I haven't been rambling that long. Facebook is a long-term strategy. So like posting stuff on Facebook. I like to say that is, you're planting the seeds. Very rarely will you find a teammate from just posting something on Facebook, at least in my experience. It comes after you build that relationship. So those seeds you plant on Facebook, that might pique their interest, and they might have, you ramble away, it's all good. So those posts will pique their interest, then they'll have questions, and then you can start that conversation, build that relationship, and answer their questions. So don't get frustrated when you post stuff on Facebook and you get crickets. I get crickets all the time. But I know that that's a long-term strategy, and it is planting those seeds versus the big win right away. So that would be my other thing. If you're going to go the Facebook or any social media, Instagram, Pinterest, I don't know what else is out there. So keep that in mind. That's the other thing is my recruits, they come from the interaction that I have with them. I did, luckily, in June, I had 2 that were referrals. So that was amazing. Funny thing is, one came, I chatted with one of my top customers, and she referred her daughter, which is Brienne, and she hit her first Jumpstart already. And then the other one is a referral from my sister, so that was fun too. So that's the other thing. Ask for referrals. If somebody's not interested, see if they know. See, I bring up my own notes as I'm talking. So that's about 20 minutes of what I've got. So leave your questions, because leave them in the comments, because then we can all learn from each other. Because I know some people aren't going to want to ask their questions, but they're thinking it. So ask away and we will learn together. Hope you found this helpful, and just have fun with it. If you've benefited from the products, from the journey in any way, shape, or form, share it with others. So let me see, Stephanie left one more. Oh yeah, guys, take a look calls. So there is one tonight. It is 8 p.m. Central. That's the other thing. If you don't want to like talk and give advice, you're not really sure what to say, invite your friends, your hostesses to that call. And when I mean invite, it's got to be like, you're not just clicking invite. It means you're telling them about it and be like, I think you should check this out. I know they have a guest speaker, a consultant on tonight. I love those, because when there's another consultant on there sharing their story, people can relate. So use those. You can even go back on the corporate page to events, and or maybe it's not on events, maybe it's in the videos album, and use those videos from other consultants to share their stories. I know There's some great ones out there. Tara's been on before. Heather Miller has been on. So there's great stories out there to share because somebody's going to relate to one story, maybe not the other. So that's my final piece. I will stop rambling now. Have a great night. Bye, guys.